Yo, what's up? This your boy Hey Kid 05. This is episode 17 in my spoken word series. Today I want to talk about parenting. I thought that I should touch this topic because a lot of people think that parenting comes with a manual. Now, I'm not a parent myself, but I've taken care of other people's children. I've taken care of babies as young as toddlers, infants, all the way up until they are in the first, second grade, Never had to take care of anybody's kid after then, thank God for that. But I thought I should touch that topic a little bit today because I know people have had their questions about parenting. Where's the manual? What should you do? But I'm here to lend a little bit of advice. Now, like I said, you can take my advice. You don't have to. I'm not an expert. I don't have kids of my own. I've taken care of kids, but I don't have any kids of my own. God will bless me with that someday. But I thought that I would take a little bit of time just to, talk about how to better take care of your children. Now, I'm going to break it down for you. Let's start with kids I'll go from each age up. Okay, if you're taking care of toddlers, that's self-explanatory. You're going to be up 24/7, period. I remember when I was taking care of my own niece and nephews. My niece and nephews, because I have a niece and two nephews. So, when they were just little babies and I was taking care of them, man, half the time when their mother was asleep, I was home and, they waking me up in the middle of the night, and I had to go down there and take care of them. It was an enjoyable experience because it's the first time I started taking care of kids. Then I had family friends who started bringing their kids over, and I was babysitting for a little bit of time. But that's off topic. It's still on topic, but it's not what I mean to talk about. So taking care of toddlers is going to be pretty hectic. You're going to be up hours. There's going to be days you got to go to work the next day, and that baby is waking you up like an alarm clock. There's going to be days where you're going to be like, okay, well, I wish I had more time to take care of this child. There's going to be days you're going to have to leave work early to take care of your kid. Now you move on from there. Now they're 1 to 2 years old. My favorite age group. That's currently the age group I teach. I teach 1 to 2 year olds, and I also teach 3 to 4 year olds. So they start out, now they're walking, they're talking. If there are some families that are actually that good where they can get their child at the age of 1 to walk and talk both at the same time, which they usually don't start talking until they're getting close to 2 years old. For some people say that that's a little late, but you got to remember that other kids are not as gifted as every other child. Normal children about 1 to 2 years old is when they're starting to be able to talk, and walk, So now they're talking and they're walking. You're still gonna have those endless days where you're gonna be up all night. Still gonna have those days where you're gonna be losing sleep. Still gonna have those days where you're gonna be like, okay, wow, well, where's all my time going? Then there's the 3 to 4 year olds. Now those are my favorite. They already know how to walk. They already know how to talk. They know how to pick up things and put things away. They're running rampant. They should know how to color. And not just color, but hold things, all that. Their motor skills are far more advanced. So at this point is when discipline can actually start. Now at this point, if your child is acting up, you can put them in their place. So if the child is like, oh, you tell them, hey, little Jimmy, go put up your toys, and Jimmy don't put up his toys, you can tan that hide. Jimmy gonna learn, and he gonna put his toys up. So now I'm not saying that some people could disagree with me, like me, beating your kids is bad. That's not true. That's the main reason why Caucasian kids these days are doing half the stuff they're doing, because their parents don't discipline them. Now, y'all can say I'm trying to be racist, but I'm not. My skin is black. Yeah, I realize that, and I'm talking about someone that's white. Okay. So what? If I sound like a racist, then that's what you take it as. But I know for well I'm not being racist in the least bit. So now 3 to 4 year olds, they require more attention. You got to start having activities for them to, you know, dust the shoulder off. You know, you gotta have activities, you know, for them to have during their day, so they can play. You know, you gotta have all types of games set up, puzzles, if you will. Start challenging their mind. They're in a developmental stage when their minds can start being challenged to become scholars later on. Start introducing them to numbers. Start introducing them to shapes, their ABCs. You know, you can start doing that. Now, 5 to 6 year olds. So now, 5 to 6 year olds, they are far more advanced than 3 to 4 year olds. So at 5 and 6, they should be able to start knowing their ABCs already. They should know how to at least count to 50. You know, now at 5 and 6, they're 6 years old now. They should know how to count. They should know their alphabet. Now you're starting to work with them with spelling and stuff like that. You know? So later on, all that starts to kick in anyway. They should be schooled. They should start going to school, getting an education, all that good stuff. Now, 7 to 8 years old, you're still going to school, still getting an education. But the number one rule is to keep it disciplined. Don't let your kids think that they can get away with everything. If your kids think that they're going to, hey, you know, I'm going to knock this cup of juice over and you ain't going to do nothing about it. If you don't do anything about it, they're going to keep thinking they can get away with everything. Now at this point, you got to start nipping in the butt. Say, hey, knock that over, you're getting a beating. Start scaring them with the belt a little bit. That should be their fear factor. They should be scared of everybody that wear a belt. They see a belt, they should be afraid of it. Oh, it's a belt. Oh, I'm going to get a whipping. They should be scared of a belt all the time. You know? Now, you got to start selling ground rules with them. Letting them know, okay, at this age, they actually are able to start playing video games. You know, I know a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't really introduce them to violence. Regardless, we live in a violent society. A society that operates by 3 powers. Power, money, and sex. And those kids are going to be taught something about control. They're going to be taught something about money. Constantly getting it, using it, spend it, spend it, spend it. They talk about spending money helps shape the economy, but it breaks people's pockets. And eventually they're going to get old enough where they're going to start having sex and having kids of their own. So all that is already covered in life, period. They're going to experience that. So at this age, you should start going ahead and talking with them about violence and stuff like that. Like, okay, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. You need to start setting ground rules with them. If they go, they punch their brother or sister. Discipline them. Don't put them in timeout. Timeout don't work no more. I'm getting sick and tired of people thinking timeout work. Oh, you going to go in timeout. Please. When I was a kid, you sent me in timeout. You turn your back for 5 minutes. I'm gone. I'm upstairs. I'm playing. I remember when I was just a little young cat, my mom bought me and my brother these stuffed animals. Me and my brother used to watch professional wrestling, man. We used to beat up on all those stuffed animals. You remember? I don't know if any of y'all watched the Rugrats. Damn near everybody watched the Rugrats. But my brother had the orange-haired one, Chucky, and I had the bald one, Tommy. You know, they were our favorite ones. You know, I used to beat up on little Tommy all the time, you know, throw him around the room doing wrestling moves on him. My brother used to beat up on Chucky. We used to tag team and beat both of them up like we having a tag team match. You know, we weren't that wild, but we was wild. You know, it's like, okay, it's time to go to bed. My mama always say that. It's time to go to bed. Oh no, we didn't go to bed. We sat up talking the entire time. We was talking, sat there playing with our little stuffed animals, throwing them around the room, beating them up. You know, we had a ball, man. We had a ball. So, you got to start setting ground rules. Let them know it's curfew time at certain times. You know, make them scared that if they really are going to break their curfew, They're going to get it. They got to be afraid. They not, it ain't going to work. So, then you got your 9 to 10-year-olds. Well, actually, you got 7 to 8-year-olds. You know, because that's 5 and 6. Then that's 7 and 8. Now they're starting to get older. You got to start setting ground rules with them. You know, they can start getting that spanking. They can start getting a belt. You know, timeout don't work for them no more. They older now. You know, then it's, oh, I'm going to take the TV out your room. You know, I'm going to take your game system away from you. You know, I'm going to cut off your outside privileges. That's when you start making things a little worse for them. You know, and then there's the, I just had to think for a minute. Then there's the 10 to 11-year-olds. Oh gosh, these are the bad mouth kids. These are kids going around school. They just learning how to cuss, learning how to fight, fuss. You know, that's when you got to start disciplining. Discipline comes in critical. You know, they 10 to 11 years old. Now they starting to hit the teen years. They're going to be trying to leave outside with their friends. They're going to want to go over to their friends who live like down the street from them. You can't do that. You know, now you got to start worrying about stuff like that. Then there's the third. Now, let me go back to the 10 to 11-year-olds. Now the discipline has to change. Now it's no longer, oh, I'm going to take your TV out your room. No, that's not going to work. They probably going to figure out a way to watch TV anyway. All that electronics, take it all of it. TV, PS3, you know, iPad, iPod, all that. Take it all out the room. All electronics. Cable box and all. Take it all out the room. And make sure that you got somebody watching the door. One of the parents got to be watching the door. You know, if they come out the room, hey, scam. Hey, get back in that room. Don't go back in there. Then there's the 13 to 14-year-olds. Now, 13 to 14-year-olds, okay, they're a little different. Okay. 13 to 14-year-olds. Now, this is when they really bad mouthing you. This is when they really don't care. You know, now they thinking, oh, you know, I'm big, I'm bad. They going to school, people telling them, oh, you should be big, you should be bad. Now you got to start also having that talk with them, because this is when they're going to start exploring. They get their little first boyfriend and girl. Now, I'm dead serious. My kids, they going to grow up like they in the military. You know, my kids, they ain't going to be doing that. You know, they're not going to be doing that. My kids, they going to wake up early in the morning. They're going to have their breakfast. Their food going to be all taken care of. They're not going to be sitting there eating all kinds of food that they want. No. Junk food is going to be taken out the system. You want a carbohydrate, it's going to be vegetarian style. They're going right, son. You know. So, you start disciplining them. Nipping it in the butt. Okay? Hey, look. You know, you're going to stop. They try to sneak out the house, catch them. These also around the age where they start picking up bad habits from school. So you got to start, you know, limiting the type of people that they hang around. Now, you're not going to have 100% control of them all the time, but there are ways to prevent certain things around them from happening. Later on in life, they start getting, you know, all types of habits and stuff like that to tell the truth, sometimes you're not going to be able to control. But there are steps and things you can do to make sure they don't get out of line. Also, when they start turning 13 and 14, you need to start having that conversation with them about sex. You know, they're going to be sex. They're going to try to become sexually active. They're going to find a little boyfriend, find a little girlfriend, and you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Start talking to them about contraceptives. You know, start talking to them about drugs, because they're going to have friends. They're going to be involved in drugs, and you got to be able to make sure they don't get involved in any of that. Parenting is not as hard as people think. It takes some common sense, and it takes some endurance and ingenuity. Sometimes everything you do is not going to work. Sometimes everything you do will work. And there's going to be times that you're going to want to give them some freedom. But hey, sometimes it's not going to happen. So thank y'all for just spending just this couple of minutes to listen to me talk to y'all about some parenting techniques that can be used to help today's children. I will be recording the next episode tomorrow. Thank you. Peace.